Do you like hatchbacks? If you do, you're in the right place. I've owned all three of the most popular hatchbacks, the Mazda Speed 3, the Focus ST, and now the GTI, and we're here to talk about it. This video will answer most questions that come to mind when you're thinking about it or shopping around or trying to figure out if the one you have is the best one for you, but you just don't want to go through the hassle of buying and selling, and it's hard to pick. Today we'll talk about which one I think is better for freeway driving, which one I think is better for driving around town, exhaust note, intake sounds, reliability, really the differences when it comes down to it, which one I think is best we'll talk about at the end. So stick around, let's dive into it. On this channel, I created the brand Karma Speed for you guys, which is all about building confidence in the garage. And if you guys want to support that, we have 3 jet tags. We have the Mazda Speed jet tag, we have a Focus ST jet tag, and of course we have our GTI jet tags. So on karmaspeed.com you'll see a wide range of jet tags. We also have the resource tab. We also have the P3 gauges on there as well, so we have a lot of updates to the Karma Speed brand. I'm working on a ton of different things to add to the website. You guys have no idea what's in store. Karma Speed is going to be one of the most rad brands in the car industry, and I'm really excited to be there for you guys. And everything you guys have helped me learn over the years, I'm prepping something that you guys are going to use for years to come, share with people. So if you guys like building confidence in the garage, you enjoy the content, maybe you just want a clean jet tag, karmaspeed.com. We have all 3 of these jet tags. On the back side we have the Karma Speed logo. You guys can grab this new Volkswagen shirt as well if you're here and have a Volkswagen. If not, we have other brands of merchandise themed apparel, t-shirts and whatnot, like these 2 coming soon. We're working hard, so the more of these we sell is actually helping us build the capital to invest into apparel designs, a fully custom website that's going to cost me a couple $1,000s, if not more, with a full awesome website designer I found. So I'm really excited about everything. But that's it for Karma Speed. Thank you guys so much. That's our little baby we have here on this channel, and more people are finding out about it as time goes on, and I'm excited to see what it turns into with your guys' support. So karmaspeed.com, link in the description, go grab something. I appreciate you guys. Which of the 3 cars is my favorite to drive around town? For sure the Focus ST. I don't know what it is about the layout, it's just very accessible. Getting in and out of the car is really easy. Shifting the car is really easy, the way the shifter is placed. The radio controls, the seating position, the windshield, just everything about it, I just love it. Everything's very accessible. You got the extra gauges up there, and the power delivery is just so fun even when you're driving around town slow. And with the manual, it's such a blast to go run errands in. It makes running errands a lot more enjoyable. I literally drive any car I've had around town, and I think about the Focus ST a lot and often to this day, because when I had to go run to the UPS store or go run and get lunch really quick, I loved the ST. It was a great time. The Fords just have a unique touch to their interior too, the way the like creaks and sounds and the plastics and everything, they just feel very solid. So if you've ever rode an F-150 versus like a Chevy that has a lot of miles on it, like the newer-ish ones, like the Fords just have a unique interior feel, and that adds to the side of it being the best daily driver around town. It's just feels solid, and the chassis is so lightweight, you just whip it around corners through parking lots like it's nothing. When it comes to driving on the freeway, the GTI probably takes this because it has the most, I would say, luxurious, like relaxing feeling interior setup behind the wheel. It's definitely the most comfortable. Everything's just kind of kick back, enjoy the ride, everything's accessible, everything's pretty tame. The ST is probably the fastest on the freeway in my opinion, if I remember correctly, but just depending on what mods, of course, but overall just basic bolt-ons. The ST was quick on the freeway on the top end. The GTI gets down in the mid-range like big time. So freeway driving, I like the GTI the most when I'm leaving town. If you're going on a long commute to work and back, you're probably gonna like the GTI the most. Exhaust note, Mazda Speed. They have unequal length headers on this car, and it's very subtle. So it's nothing dramatic like a Subaru where you get that like deep, crazy rumble. The Mazda Speed just has a unique tone to it. It's not annoying, it's not ricey sounding. I think the GTI can get pretty predictable and kind of boring. The Focus ST is kind of high-pitched, trumpet, kind of, people would consider it annoying. I think it's very fun, but it is a little bit more of the hectic side of things. And I think the Mazda Speed is just right there in the middle. It's unique. It's not too loud. It can't get too crazy. But I just think the Mazda Speed has the best exhaust note of the three, mainly because it is unique and sounds really good for a hot hatch style car. When it comes to intake noises, I would say the Focus ST and Mazda Speed are pretty similar. Depending on what intake setup you have, it does get pretty loud, and to the point where all three of these cars, you really don't need a blow-off valve to get your intake turbo sounds, get your fix. If you're younger or you just love the sound of a turbo, you will get a blow-off valve. I know I don't. I like the intake only setup, but I do support blow-off valves. I'm all for it. And if you want to get your fix of rice, that is there, and I don't think it's a bad thing at all. I think it just comes down to taste. But I would say I think the Mazda Speed has a slightly more aggressive turbo sound just through the intake solely, no blow-off valve or anything. That car is a good time when it comes to making some cool noises with your turbo. Of the three, which is the easiest to work on? Hands down, the Focus ST. Everything is so accessible. The front-mount intercooler is easy. That's the thing with the GTI. The front-mount intercooler, that was a drag. With me and Randall, it did still take us a while. I can only imagine if I just got into cars and I was doing that front mount intercooler setup, I would get so frustrated. That's how it was with the downpipe on the Mazda Speed 3. And knowing what I know now, it would definitely be a lot easier with the right tools and things like that. But when you're a beginner, the downpipe on the Mazda Speed is the big downfall, and the front mount intercooler is the downfall on the GTI. The Focus ST is honestly like easy across the board, like downpipe, front mount, intake, everything is easy. Spark plugs are accessible on all these cars. So overall, they're on the beginner side of working on cars. Nothing's intense at all, but there are always those challenges that come with certain platforms, and those are kind of the three broken down in simple terms. Which one's the funnest to work on? Definitely the ST. The satisfaction of just going in, not knowing anything, and getting the job done and walking away and getting to enjoy your hard work without any major hiccups. That is worth something in itself, and funnest to work on Focus ST for sure, because I left every single time with that car in the garage happy. Some of the other cars in the past, you leave kind of frustrated. You're like, I got it done, or maybe I didn't get it done, and that wasn't exactly fun all the way through. But hey, that's cars. That's what makes it rewarding. I just fixed my girlfriend's car the other day, and we ran into a bunch of issues. It took me and Randall all day pretty much, and then me a solo from like 5 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. So it was like 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. all to fix this stupid problem with these wheel bearings. Like, I felt so good when it was done though, and I learned a lot of things that I will carry with me forever. So I encourage you to go out there, get after it. That's what we're all about, building confidence in the garage. Is what Karma Speed's here to do for you, help you out with. Working on those things on the website, like I said, resources and stuff, so you guys know exactly what to expect by watching the content and kind of seeing everything organized and put together on the website, and some changes I have coming up to it that will help you have the ultimate confidence going into any of these jobs or any of the platforms in general. Which has the most dramatic gains when you modify it? The GTI is an absolute turtle when you buy it. And then with a couple mods, a tune, and this thing rips. You can hang with most people on the road, and it's a blast. Like, it is shocking how much faster the GTI gets with a little bit of love, TLC, money, and parts. Like, it's a good time. I love the process of seeing the personality of the GTI come to life. The other two are dramatic as well, but the GTI was the most dramatic in the modifying process. And that's what it's all about for me, is seeing the characteristics and personalities of all the platforms. That's why I bounce from car to car to car to car, because it's really fun to learn them all. Gotta pull my notes out for this one. So which is the most reliable? I'm not gonna state an answer because there's so much to be said about all these, but from my experience and some things I know about the platforms, here's kind of some things to think about. The Mazda Speed 3 is notorious for timing chains going bad. They get loose and sloppy right around 100,000 miles. They make noise. They make kits, so you can fix that. I looked online, and some people are getting charged between $1,500 and $2,000 at a dealership to get it fixed. It's around $500 with tax and parts, so if you install it yourself and got the tools, it sounds like a $1,000 job minimum from what I can see if you're just getting into this and you wanted to attack it yourself. Upwards up to $2,000. But really, they're super duper reliable cars, but it's just a timing chain problem really. cleaning some valves, maybe. Other than that, they're pretty good. I will probably buy another one down the road with high miles and do the timing chain, so hopefully we can do that video one day with Randall. The Focus ST usually has almost zero issues. It's the cheapest one thing. It's just like the Mazda. It's cheap to maintain. They're super simple cars. The only bad thing is when people run a tune and you have pre-ignition. When pre-ignition is when the air-fuel mixture ignites before it's supposed to, so then when it does actually ignite when it's supposed to, it's got like double the pressure on top of the piston and it cracks the ringland. That's usually from people running an improper tune for the mods they have, and they beat the crap out of it after a couple nights or a couple weeks or a couple months, and then you have a cracked ringland, you lose pressure, you start eating a bunch of oil. It's a no-go. But if you have a proper tune on these cars, it seems like they'll go as long as you can keep them around, really. Reach out to Alan at Edge Autosport. I have the whole series on the channel, but he's great. He'll take care of you and make sure that your Focus ST gets tuned properly. The GTI does have its common issues. When you search Google, you'll find a laundry list, but when you talk to people who own them, you don't really hear too much. From my research, you have a plastic intake manifold that can sometimes fail, and maybe even a fuel pump at worst. They seem to be super reliable from my experience thus far, driving 10,000 miles and just kind of learning my way around the car and how things work and how things function, the build quality of everything. It's nothing that I'll ever sweat. I'll take this thing out of town whenever I want to. Just change the oil, take care of the transmission service, and try and do that yourself if you can to save some money. And honestly, the ECU is extremely smart. You can beat on it in the heat. It's not going to hurt itself. I really trust the GTI probably the most out of the three, knowing the ECU, how smart it is and everything else, the tuning capability and whatnot. And they really over-engineer these cars because they've been around so long, it seems like. I would probably trust the Focus ST the same, but the Mazda Speed 3 is questionable with the timing chain thing because it is kind of, you know, most people are going to buy them with higher miles now. But like, honestly, at the end of the day, like, everything I know now, all three cars are super reliable. As long as you keep in mind their weak points, you should never have an issue. Usually you can figure out engine codes. There's a ton of support on all three cars. Don't be scared of anything. The thing about the GTIs though, is there's so many of them. There's so many shops that know them extremely well. So that's something it has going for it that the other two don't. So which one is the best in my opinion? I'm gonna say the name of each car and kind of what comes to mind. The Mazda Speed 3, best looking one. Overall, just a rad car. It's unique. I love them. Focus ST. Behind the wheel, funnest daily driver around town. It's peppy, has a fun power delivery. It's a good time. I love that car. It's light on its feet. And the GTI, the most well-rounded vehicle I've ever had. It goes from you can drive it like a grandpa to drive it really fast and hang with the boys like that. And the other two cars are kind of just in fast mode all the time. The GTI is just suitable for all types of people. It doesn't matter what kind of person you are. The other two, you kind of have to be a niche, like I want to go fast kind of guy. Comment down below which vehicle of the three you have and why to help some people searching. And then also, if you're looking to buying one, comment down which one you're looking into buying, and then maybe some things that are a concern, and maybe you can start some threads and some conversations to help get some questions answered, and maybe attack any sort of more particular detailed sides of this conversation. Don't forget about the Karma Speed jet tags. We have all three now. I'm super pumped with these on the site. Grab a t-shirt, check out the resources tab as well as the new parts section as well. We'll be adding to that slowly as we partner with companies. I'm really excited about it. I appreciate you guys so much. If you watched this far, here's a little bonus. If I had to pick a car that will be in my future collection, or actually of all the cars, all three of these cars, I will have probably a black Mazda Speed 3, a 2013 in my future car collection. Man, those cars look so good in black. They're just a fun experience. They're super nostalgic to me because that's how we started the channel. And honestly, I think it's the best looking hatch of them all, especially in black with some nice colored calipers, some nice wheels, some nice fitment. I never did good fitment on the first one I had. I didn't know anything. I was just full sending, trying to push towards this dream. And now that we have all the tools, things necessary to build a really rad car, I definitely want to find one and keep it around because they're super duper cool. So if you're here, thanks so much for stopping by. Check out karmaspeed.com. appreciate you guys so much. Hope to see you in the next video, and comment down below if you have any other questions too. I can pop in there and answer what I can. See ya.